What's going on, everybody? Let's do a little bit of talking about Palantir. It's the early morning. I'm out doing what I got to do, and I don't know if I'll be able to make you guys a video later on. A couple of raw thoughts about Palantir. I haven't really given you my thoughts about the buybacks. So Palantir said that the board approved a buyback of $1 billion worth for shares. Now, Palantir has $3.1 billion of cash. Essentially, they have no debt. So they're like, okay, we have $1 billion worth. Let's buy back or potentially buy back shares of Palantir. You see, when I first heard it on the earnings call, the $1 billion approved, I overreacted, and then I reread it, and it's not that they're going to buy back $1 billion. It's that they were approved to buy back $1 billion if need be. Now, it's their option to do it or not. Why was I a little bit upset? I was upset that you're saying that you're going to buy back shares at $20 valuation a share or $15 valuation a share or $25 valuation a share, but when it was $7 or $8, nobody wanted to buy it back. Now, the camps are mixed, right? Some people in the Palantir community say this is great. Some people say this is bad. But then when I heard that they said it's their option to buy back, I'm like, okay, well, I just hope that they're not going to be buying back at $20 or even $15. So some people are saying that they couldn't buy back at $7 or $8 because that would have been like, hey, we're panicking. I don't agree with that personally. I believe that if you believe in your brand and if they would have made a share buyback, I think that would actually be super positive for Palantir, especially while the price of Palantir was going down. There's always going to be people that are talking shit outside of the community, haters, that are going to say no matter what Palantir does, no matter if they buy back, if they don't buy back, when they buy back, whatever, at whatever price, they're still going to hate on Palantir. So I am not thrilled if they're going to buy back at the share price of $20 or something like that, but I am okay with them saying, hey, we have the option of buying back shares up to $1 billion. That's fine with me. So why is that a good decision? Several things. Number one, they're showing a position of strength to Wall Street and to retail investors, saying, hey, we believe in the company. We're at a position that we're so cash rich that we could spend it on buybacks. But what exactly does that mean? So right now, Palantir has like 2.1 billion shares. Let's say they buy back at the price of $10 to $20. Let's give it a range, and you guys can figure out in between. Well, at $10, $1 billion buyback, that would be 100 million shares. 100 million shares is approximately 4.5% of the entire float. Let's just say 2 billion shares instead of 2.1 to make my math super easy. So that would be approximately 5% of the entire float. If they're buying back at $20, that would be approximately 2.5% of the entire float. If they're buying back at these prices of around $15, well, it will be in between, 3.75% of the float. What will that do to the market? What will that do to the price of Palantir? I'm not sure if it's going to do anything to the price of Palantir. Maybe it's going to stabilize the price of Palantir. So I don't think it's a huge deal, but if, let's say, Palantir does dip to a super small level of, let's say it does hit like $6 again, or $7 or $8, it's going to have a bigger effect because it's going to take a lot of shares off the market. Why are they able to do this? The whole reason they have a lot of cash is because instead of paying top engineers, top employees, I'm talking about the creme de la creme, the 1% of the 1%, they offer them stock-based compensation. And because they're not offering them cash, but stock-based compensation for the most part, then they're cash rich, and that's how they acquired all this cash. You know, if all the cash is not going to paying employees, or not all of it, then they're able to save it up. Now, you only need so much cash, and there's only so many things you could do with it. You can do a buyback, or you could do merger and acquisitions, M&As. I would love for them to acquire a company that's needed, but I don't really know what company they would need. But hey, it is all good. So that's the explanation of the share buyback. Whether you agree with it or not agree with it, I had a lot of people that were asking me, hey, Adam, can you please explain the buyback? How does it work? Stuff like that. I saw somebody make a comment on Tom Nash's channel saying that I don't want them to dilute my shares with the buyback. So first of all, I encourage everybody to learn. I encourage everybody to Google. I encourage everybody to do your own research, and I encourage everybody to educate themselves. And the way to do that is to read books or read articles and learn things. When you are buying back shares, when you're doing a buyback, you are not diluting your shares. You're doing the opposite. You are consolidating your shares, which means that there's less outstanding shares, which means the price of said asset, the price of said equity, should go up equivalently over a period of time, the same amount as you are consolidating for. When you are diluting shares, you are making a share offering. That means that you're putting either a stock-based compensation or you're offering more shares on the open market to raise funds. So there's several ways of doing it, and there are some other ways. So no, this is not diluting your shares, this is consolidating shares, and this is actually a good thing for the strength of the company and the prices. They could just be also playing the game of Wall Street. You know, it's so funny. A year and a half ago, everybody laughed at Palantir. You're not playing the game of Wall Street. You're so against Wall Street. Play the game, play the game. Everybody made fun of Palantir. Now Palantir is playing the game of Wall Street. Obviously they are. Like, you could see it. They've been doing this for the last year or so with hiring public relations managers and public speaker managers. And I said this over a year ago. People laughed, but Alex Karp said it himself. Yeah, I hired somebody to help me speak in public. They're playing the game of Wall Street. When they're not playing the game of Wall Street, haters gonna hate. When they're playing the game of Wall Street, haters gonna hate. It's so funny. It's such a crazy dynamic when it comes to Palantir. Look, Palantir had a crazy sell-off. It literally ran up from $7 straight up to $20. And now it went from $20 straight down to low $15. Yesterday was finally a green day. I think we had like 1.5% green, which means the price can be, I stress K-A-N with capitalized exclamation mark, can be that, you know, our dump stopped. And now, not necessarily we're going to go up, not necessarily we're going to go down. Maybe we're going to barcode and trade sideways to see what's going to happen. We have a major catalyst coming up in September, or possible catalyst, or possible dump. So the NHS contract is supposed to be announced at the end of September. I believe it's September 27th it's going to be announced. September 28th is when it's going to be awarded. I don't know who it's going to be. All eyes are on Palantir. This is a make or break moment for Palantir. Is it going to destroy the company and we're going to go bankrupt, out of business? No, we have $3.1 billion. Even if we do the buyback, $2.1 billion, we are perfectly fine. And I don't think, no chance in heck, in my opinion, Palantir goes bankrupt. So at least that, you're good. If we don't get the NHS contract, it's going to be very, very bad, because it means that political groups can win against Palantir, and it means that the media can win against Palantir, and campaigns can win against Palantir. Now, if Palantir wins, that means that Palantir is so amazingly good. Palantir is just that awesome sauce that no matter what you throw against them, it's just not going to stick. No matter how much you try to go against Palantir, no matter how much you try to do a smear campaign, it's not going to win. And Palantir needs this contract, especially because their growth is only at 13% year over year. And this is an international contract and an international government contract. It also means that a country, a large country, a leader in the world, the UK, trust Palantir enough that they can revamp their entire NHS system. It's really a crazy contract, and it's worth around $600 million and possibly over $1 billion over time. So that's a major catalyst. If we get that contract, it's possible that Palantir goes up, baby. I mean, if we get the contract and Palantir does not go up from there, like at least a double digit, like a 10%, I would be really shocked. Now, I don't know if that happens in one day or not, but I would be extremely shocked if it doesn't happen for the week. Especially, I'm looking forward to the explanation of why we would get it, or if they get somebody else, why would we wouldn't get it. I cannot see who else they're going to get, because I don't even know who the front runner is. You know, they came out with that consortium of 3 companies that absolutely dropped off. And I just don't understand, if there's a company that can do it better than Palantir, why did Palantir already get over $100 million in contracts with the NHS? It doesn't make sense to me. We're growing our customer count. It's very important that we grow our customer count, but we also grow our revenue from those customers. It seems to me like they're onboarding a lot of customers. Now, I'm not saying this as a fanboy. I'm saying this that I believe that they're giving a lot of customers discounts to get in and work with Palantir. Look, I did the math. I put out a tweet the other day. The top 20 clients is worth $53 million. If you take the other 401 clients, because we have a total of 421 clients, and you average the last 4 quarters, that comes out to 379 clients. The 379 clients, putting in the rest of the revenue, would be accounting for like 2.8 million. So listen, the top 20 clients, average contract is 53 million. The average contract of all the other clients is 2.7, 2.8 million. That's a huge amount of money. It's not easy to onboard anybody that just has millions of dollars that they could spend on software. Sometimes Palantir needs to spend a lot of money, a lot of time, and give big discounts, so to speak, like they've done time and time again, in order to get the client and onboard them later. Guys, I'm gonna go around about my chores. I need to go buy some water for my baby, and thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to support the channel membership is $3 a month, and I give you my plays for options, not financial advice, of course, purely entertainment and education. It's just my personal plays, personal finance, and I talk to you a little bit more about the psychologies of money and things like that. Thank you very much. Have a great day.